luxury cars, the conversation usually drifts to the obvious names: Bentley, Porsche, Mercedes-AMG, but behind the spotlight are a few machines that blend style, speed, and comfort so well, they deserve way more recognition. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 fast luxury cars you need to know. Let's dive in. Kicking off the list is pure British elegance with a supercharged twist: the Jaguar XKR. The XK8 had already been around for a few years, but in the 90s, Jaguar wanted to up the ante, responding to demand for more horsepower and that classic British flair. Enter the XKR with its supercharged V8 engine, sporty styling, and enhanced driving dynamics, setting the stage for an unforgettable driving experience. When it first hit the roads, the XKR was met with excitement. Jaguar had found a way to combine luxury with performance in a car that could both cruise the highways in supreme comfort and take on winding country roads with surprising agility. Alright, now we get to the good stuff. Under the hood. The XKR is powered by a 4.0-liter supercharged V8 that puts out 370 horsepower in the early models. That's right, this isn't just your average Grand Tourer. It's a supercharged beast that can easily keep up with some serious sports cars. The Eaton supercharger provides 11.9 psi of boost, and let me tell you, that means serious acceleration. With 370 horsepower at your disposal, you're able to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.0 seconds, which, for a car that's designed for comfort and cruising, is pretty damn impressive. Now, the 2002 to 2006 facelift cranks it up a notch. The engine grows to 4.2-liter, and power increases to 400 horses. You also get a new 6-speed ZF automatic transmission, which is smoother than the previous 5-speed. The performance? It's improved, no doubt, but let's be honest, it's still not a dual clutch, so it's a bit slower on the shifts compared to something like the BMW M6. But that's okay because you've got the sound of that supercharger whining in the background, and it makes it all worth it. The driving experience is a fine balance of comfort and performance, with the adaptive suspension ensuring that you're comfortable even when you're pushing the car through a twisty road. Steering is light but still responsive. If you've driven other heavy British cars, you'll appreciate just how nimble this one feels. It's not as sharp as some other high-performance cars, but it's still a joy to drive and can hold its own when the road gets tight. Let's talk about how the XKR handles in the real world. It's not as precise as a Porsche 911 or as planted as a Mercedes SL55 AMG, but it makes up for that with sheer joy. The wide rear tires and limited slip differential help with traction, and you'll find yourself powering out of corners with confidence. The ride quality is fantastic, especially for long-distance cruising. It absorbs bumps better than some other sports cars, and it's just comfortable enough to make you want to keep driving. The XKR shines on both highways and winding country roads, making it the perfect car for long journeys and weekend getaways. It's the perfect car for highway overtakes and spirited drives. Now here's a modern masterpiece, the Lexus LC500. The LC500 is a luxury Grand Tourer from Lexus, the fancy sibling of Toyota that usually plays it safe. But not this time. The LC500 is a bold, unapologetic coupe born from the LFLC concept that stunned crowds at the 2012 Detroit Auto Show. The production version showed up in 2016, and it was love at first sight. This car wasn't made to blend in, it was made to drop jaws. It's the spiritual successor to the old Lexus SC, but on a whole other level of crazy good. And here's the kicker. It's the first Lexus built on the GAL platform, shared with the LS sedan, but it's anything but a sleepy cruiser. Now, let's talk numbers. Under the hood, the LC500 packs a 5.0-liter, naturally aspirated V8. No turbos, no gimmicks, just raw, high-revving muscle. This thing cranks out 471 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 10-speed automatic that shifts smoother than anything else. It has a 0 to 60 of only 4.4 seconds. That's no joke for a car that weighs around 4,300 pounds and still gives you heated seats and a Mark Levinson sound system. It's not trying to be a Hellcat or a Ferrari, it's doing its own thing and doing it well. And if you're curious about top speed, it's electronically limited to 168 miles per hour. That's serious Grand Tourer territory. Fast enough to remind you this isn't just a looker, it's a legitimate performance machine. Want something greener? There's the LC500H Hybrid with a 3.5L V6. It pumps out 354 horsepower and has a weirdly cool dual transmission setup that combines a CVT with a 4-speed auto. It's not as fast, but it's smart, smooth, and still pretty damn cool. But let's be honest, if you're here for the sound and speed, the V8 is the move. Alright, here's where it gets spicy. The LC500 isn't just about what's under the hood, it's about the whole package. First, the design. It looks like it rolled off a concept car runway and straight into traffic. Long hood, wide stance, curves in all the right places. That spindle grille is still controversial but still bold. The triple beam LED headlights, sharp enough to slice air. And the interior? It's like sitting in a high-tech leather cocoon. Alcantara everywhere, real metal accents, and a dashboard that flows like a piece of sculpture. Even the door panels look like they were designed by an origami master. The Lexus LC500 isn't just muscle and style, it's packed with tech that elevates the driving experience. The centerpiece is the 10-inch high-resolution infotainment display controlled via Lexus's remote touch interface. While the touchpad isn't everyone's favorite, the system supports Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and navigation. Next up is a car that proves BMW can be absolutely unhinged when it wants to be. The M6 E63, a car that took BMW's obsession with performance, added some questionable design choices and shoved a Formula One-inspired V10 under the hood. It was aggressive, controversial, and one of the last truly wild M cars before BMW started playing it safe. It wasn't just a performance machine, it was a statement. It dared to be different, but in doing so, it created a bit of a love it or hate it vibe, especially among car enthusiasts. Back in the early 2000s, BMW was still in its let's take risks phase. The E63 6 Series debuted in 2003 as a Grand Tourer, blending luxury with performance. But the real beast arrived in 2005, the M6. This was the true M variant of the 6 Series, and it was designed to go head-to-head with cars like the Mercedes-Benz CL55 AMG and the Porsche 911 Turbo. It shared its chassis with the E55 series, and just like its sedan sibling, it had people divided over its looks. The exterior styling was bold, dramatic, and forward-thinking, but it was also polarizing. Designed by Adrian Van Hooijdonk under the direction of Chris Bangle, the E63 had the infamous Bangle butt rear end, a design choice that left purists scratching their heads. Love it or hate it, though, this car had presence. It made sure that people took notice when it passed by. Now, let's talk about the real reason you're here. That engine. The M6 packed a 5.0-liter, naturally aspirated V10, the legendary S85. This wasn't some reworked V8 or a bored-out inline-6. It was a true motorsport-derived masterpiece, pushing 507 horsepower at a screaming 7,750 RPM and 384 foot-pounds of torque at 6,100 RPM. It revved all the way up to 8,250 RPM, which, in a world dominated by turbochargers today, sounds downright exotic. This was an engine that didn't just offer power, it offered drama, aggression, and an unmistakable sound. The power delivery was raw, the sound was intoxicating, and the red line begged you to keep pushing it higher and higher. Pair that with the 7-speed SMG3 transmission, BMW's single-clutch automated manual, and you had an experience that was equal parts thrilling and frustrating. When driven hard, the SMG delivered lightning-fast shifts, but in traffic, many complained that it was jerky, unpredictable, and made you look like you had no idea how to drive. You'd find yourself lurching around at slow speeds as the transmission struggled to smooth things out. It wasn't exactly the most user-friendly setup, but it was undeniably fast. BMW later offered a 6-speed manual in the US because enthusiasts demanded it, but let's be real, the majority of these cars came with the SMG. And that sound, it's pure motorsport. At idle, a deep, menacing growl. At full throttle, an F1-inspired wail that sent shivers down your spine. Past 5,000 revolutions per minute, it screamed with unfiltered aggression, each SMG shift punctuated by a thunderous bark. This next one is the quiet achiever, the Infiniti G37. This isn't just another mid-tier luxury car. The G37 brought performance, style, and reliability in a way that made it stand out, even against some heavy hitters from BMW and Audi. The story of the G37 begins long before its actual launch. Infiniti kicked off the 5-year development program that would culminate in what became the V36 generation of the G series back in 2002. By 2006, the sedan was ready to roll off the production line, followed by the coupe in 2007 and the convertible in 2009. Actually, design work for the sedan actually started in 2003, and by 2004, Hideo Kamuro's design got the green light. The G37 name officially hit the scene in 2009 when it replaced the G35 sedan, bringing a more powerful 3.7-liter engine under the hood. Now let's break down what makes the G37 so special. First up, under the hood, the G37 G37 packed a naturally aspirated 3.7-liter V6 engine. This was Infiniti's first engine with VVEL, which stands for Variable Valve Event and Lift. You might be wondering, what does that actually mean? Well, simply put, VVEL improves engine performance by controlling the timing and lift of the intake valves. This means more power, better fuel efficiency, and a snappier throttle response, which all translate into a more enjoyable driving experience. Speaking of numbers, this engine produced 328 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 269 foot-pounds of torque at 5,200 RPM. In the coupe version, that translates to a 0 to 60 time of around 5 seconds and a quarter-mile time in the mid-13 seconds. It's quick enough to be exhilarating, but still practical enough to serve as a daily driver without turning every commute into a tire-smoking event. Now, let's talk about one of the things that has made the G37 such a favorite among the tuning crowd: its mod potential. The stock internals of the 3.7-liter V6 engine are capable of handling around 650 horsepower before you need to start upgrading to forged rods and pistons. That's an impressive number, especially for a naturally aspirated engine. If you're thinking about forced induction, you can slap on a turbo kit, but keep in mind, you'll need to upgrade your fuel system to avoid the catastrophic failure of throwing rods through your engine block. The G37 has one of the most robust aftermarket support systems, which means whether you want to go full bolt-on, add forced induction, or even build a full-on track car, there are plenty of options available to help you get the job done. When it comes to transmission options, Infiniti gave you choices. For the purists, there was a 6-speed manual transmission, offering precise shifts and a level of engagement that you just don't get with a standard automatic. For everyone else, the G37 came with either a 5-speed automatic if you had an early model or a 7-speed automatic from 2009 onwards. If you needed extra traction, Infiniti had you covered with an all-wheel drive version, the G37X. The manual transmission made for a truly enjoyable driving experience, offering that connection between driver and car that enthusiasts crave. On the flip side, the automatic transmission, while smooth and efficient, didn't have the quickest shifts, especially when compared to some of its German rivals. And at number 1, the ultimate underdog, the Mercedes E55 AMG, car that was so ahead of its time, it gapped Ferraris of its time. If you've ever wondered what it's like to combine luxury with muscle, you're in for a treat. And the craziest part, you can get one for under $10K. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into one of the most iconic performance sedans ever made. So what is the E55 AMG? Well, it's a high-performance sedan built by Mercedes-Benz's AMG division, also known as the Wizards of Speed and Luxury. Produced from 2003 to 2006, this car wasn't just another luxury sedan, it was a beast. At the time, it was the fastest sedan in the world, and it was designed to show that you could have both power and refinement without having to choose between the two. It's the kind of car that says, I've got class and I've got speed, without screaming it at you. Let's get to the good stuff. The E55 AMG is powered by a supercharged 5.4-liter V8 engine that produces 469 horsepower and a jaw-dropping 516 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, that's enough torque to make your head snap back like you're in a roller coaster. And the best part? It'll get you from 0 to 60 in just 4.5 seconds. For a sedan, that's mind-blowing. But here's the thing, this wasn't just fast for a sedan, it was faster than some Ferraris of its time. We're talking about a car that could leave most sports cars eating its dust while you're sitting in leather seats, sipping on your coffee. The E55 AMG isn't just about straight-line speed though. With its 5-speed automatic transmission, the shifts are smooth but fast, delivering that pushed back in your seat feeling every time you punch it. And for a car weighing over 4,000 pounds, it doesn't feel heavy at all. Thanks to AMG's engineering, it handles like a dream for its size, especially with its adjustable suspension that lets you tune the ride to be as smooth as you want or a little more aggressive when you're in the mood to show off. Hey, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that. Now, it's not just about the numbers. The E55 AMG has that AMG look. You know the one. Wide fenders, quad exhaust tips, and an aggressive AMG grille up front that says, yeah, I'm fast, and I look damn good doing it. It doesn't have the over-the-top styling of some modern sports sedans, but that's the point. The E55 AMG is subtle. It's classy. It's the car equivalent of a well-tailored suit. And inside, oh, it's all about that Mercedes luxury. You've got leather upholstery, heated seats, and all the premium materials you'd expect from a brand like Mercedes. Sure, the tech might feel a little outdated compared to today's infotainment systems, but the sound system? Oh, it's solid. And the navigation, while not as slick as modern systems, still gets you where you need to go in style. The E55 AMG didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was the brainchild of AMG's obsession with turning everyday luxury sedans into road monsters. In 2003, Mercedes wanted to show the world that they could build a sedan that was fast yet practical. So they called up AMG and the result was this supercharged powerhouse. At its launch, the E55 AMG blew everyone away with its performance, leaving enthusiasts and journalists alike with their jaws on the floor. And the best part? It didn't sacrifice the luxury and comfort Mercedes is known for. That's why this car became such an instant classic. Now let's talk about what it's like to drive. Imagine cruising along a straight road and then you give it the beans. The supercharger kicks in and you're hit with a rush of power. The car feels alive beneath you, but not out of control. Thanks to AMG's engineering, it handles like a dream for its size. There you have it. 5 fast luxury cars that fly under the radar. Each one offers its own mix of speed, style, and comfort that makes it stand out from the crowd. Which one would you take home? Let me know in the comments. And if you love finding underrated performance cars, be sure to like and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.